Trevor and John, a lot of big weeks during the season, maybe none bigger than the one that's coming up for you guys for a lot of reasons. You're getting ready to play arguably your most bitter rival in a game that means a lot for playoff implications both ways. I guess, how do you balance all that with, let's just go do what we've been doing?
Well, honestly, we don't really need any motivation. Like, we've been thinking that all week. It's a crosstown rivalry. Texas high school football. It doesn't get any better than that. We just know we got to go win. We know we're in the playoffs, so we're not trying to put too much pressure on that. But who wouldn't want to win against your crosstown rival?
And John, y'all have a chance to kind of spoil the party for them a little bit. I don't know the math exactly, but they're kind of in must-win mode. They don't have the luxury of saying we're in the playoffs right now. Does that stoke the flames a little bit more for you?
Yes, I would love to just knock them out of playoff contention, and us, if we win this game, we have a chance of staying home in Lubbock for our first round of the playoffs, and that's what we really just want to do instead of driving to El Paso.
Y'all have had some gut punches yourself. The Amarillo game, I know, probably still leaves a little bit of a mark. You bounce back from it nicely. How do you continue that momentum from what you did against Caprock into this week?
You just got to use gut punches like that as motivation. We use the biggest gut punch of all, starting 0-3, and we try to build off of that, work on our mistakes, get everything that we were doing wrong right. And I feel like we've been doing a lot of that these past couple weeks, so I think we'll be really prepared.
It's weird, John, to think of you guys being 0-3 the way you are now, and a lot of that has to do with two things: less turnovers on offense and the defense just getting better and better. What have you guys done on that side of the ball to keep just improving?
In the first 3 games especially, we were beating ourselves by getting personal fouls and just penalties in general, and we've really cleaned that up after the first 3 games.
Your defensive line always jumps off the page when I see you guys in person. How key are those guys? It seems like there's like 8 of them up there when they get going. I know you can only play 3 or 4 at a time, but it seems like they set a tone for you.
Yeah, Julius and Diego especially just do a really good job of filling up the gaps, making me and Nigel's jobs a lot easier. And James and DeAndre just do their thing, get sacks, bully linemen.
And Trevor, I remember we talked way back before the season about Jet kind of finding a comfort level, especially with Will not being out there. You're kind of the guy that probably has to go be the Jet Carroll whisperer a little bit. He had the one bad start against Amarillo High, but what has he done most of these last 5 games to make you guys better on offense?
He's definitely been making grown-up decisions. I feel like he was kind of forcing things a little bit to start the season, making throws that he probably can make, but not a high percentage. But I feel like it's our job as receivers to make Jet look good, build his confidence by catching balls that may not be perfect. But I feel like he's grown so much just even in the past week. And I feel like he's going to carry that these next 2 games.
And similar to what I mentioned to John there, it seems like the offensive line kind of gelling together since those first 3 weeks has been important, giving him time, letting you get off the line a little bit more so you can go make plays.
Yes, sir, for sure. A bunch of young guys, too, so they need those few weeks to get rolling. They have great senior leadership on the O-line, too. They're getting everybody right. And, you can definitely tell the difference between how we were to begin the season and how we are now. So,
the last thing, even though you guys have a playoff spot clinched, you kind of feel like mentally you have to approach this as the first playoff game because you know who you play the final week. How important is it to use these next 2 games to kind of establish some momentum, John?
If we win this, it's just a real big momentum swing going into the last week of the season versus a big opponent. And then it's just, if we win this game, a chance to stay home for first round playoffs, and we'd love to do that again this year.
And Trevor, you've been through this a few times. A couple years ago, there was a little bit of a scramble at the end. Last year, you guys were charging down to the finish line. Where does this one kind of fit into that scheme a little bit?
Obviously we're not 10-0 like we were last year. But I feel like we all hated that drive to El Paso so much, especially us seniors, that'll be used as motivation too. So I feel like we can do a lot better than we did my sophomore year when I think we lost second round. I feel like we can do so much better with that just by fitting all our tools together.